The spark that ignites change, unearthing the power of social movements in shaping history in an era where voices are amplified through digital platforms and global connectivity is at our fingertips. Social movements have become more than mere gatherings. They're powerful engines of transformation. From the civil rights marches that reshaped nations to modern-day campaigns against climate change, these collective actions wield immense influence over societal norms, policies, and cultural values. Social movements aren't simply reactions, they're deliberate efforts by individuals united by shared goals, often born from systemic injustices or pressing issues demanding attention. Whether advocating for gender equality, racial justice, environmental sustainability, or economic fairness, each movement carries within it the potential to redefine the world as we know it. The genesis of movement, understanding what drives people to rise up at its core. Every social movement begins with a spark, a moment when injustice becomes intolerable, or when people realize their power to create change collectively. This initial catalyst can take many forms: witnessing discrimination firsthand, experiencing personal hardship due to flawed systems, or even being inspired by others who've dared to challenge the status quo. Historically, moments of crisis or perceived threat have ignited some of the most impactful movements. The Civil Rights Act's passage was fueled not only by years of segregation but also by tragic events like the murder of Emmett Till, which galvanized public sentiment across America. Similarly, the women's suffrage movement gained momentum after decades of quiet advocacy were met with increasing resistance and violence. Shared identity. When individuals identify strongly with a cause, whether based on race, gender, class, or ideology, it creates a foundation for sustained action and solidarity among participants. Opportunities for mobilization. Accessible communication channels such as social media, community networks, and grassroots organizations play critical roles in organizing mass participation quickly and efficiently. Mechanisms of mobilization. How movements gain momentum. Once a movement gains traction, it relies on various mechanisms to sustain itself. These include strategic use of protests, lobbying political figures, leveraging media coverage, creating awareness through educational initiatives, and building coalitions with other groups working towards similar objectives. A key element in sustaining any social movement is effective leadership. Strong leaders emerge naturally during times of upheaval. They articulate clear visions, inspire followers through compelling narratives, and guide collective efforts towards tangible outcomes rather than abstract ideals alone. The role of leadership in sustaining social movements. Leadership isn't always synonymous with formal titles or positions. Sometimes it emerges organically from those deeply involved in the struggle. For instance, Martin Luther King Jr.'s role in the American Civil Rights Movement wasn't merely about delivering speeches. He provided direction while allowing space for diverse voices within his coalition to contribute meaningfully. This balance between centralized vision and decentralized execution allows movements greater flexibility without losing sight of overarching goals. It ensures that even amid challenges like internal disagreements or external pressures from authorities trying to suppress dissent, there remains enough cohesion to continue pushing forward effectively. Cultural catalysts, media, art, and technology in amplifying voices. Modern technology has transformed how social movements operate today compared to past eras when information spread slowly via print media or word-of-mouth communication. Digital tools now enable real-time updates, instant sharing of experiences, and broader reach beyond local communities into national global spheres. Artistic expression plays another vital role in shaping perceptions around social causes. Music, visual art, literature, all serve as mediums through which complex ideas become relatable stories capable of moving hearts and minds alike. Consider Bob Dylan's protest songs during Vietnam War protests or street murals depicting police brutality becoming symbols of Black Lives Matter demonstrations worldwide. Economic factors influencing participation and outcomes of social movements. Economic conditions significantly affect both participation rates and ultimate success levels achieved by different types of social movements. Individuals living under poverty-stricken circumstances may find themselves less able to participate actively because resources required for engagement, like time away from work, travel costs associated with attending rallies are prohibitive factors limiting involvement. Conversely, wealthier populations might engage differently too. If they perceive certain changes could threaten existing privileges, then opposition might increase despite having access to better means for expressing concerns formally through legal avenues instead of direct confrontation methods typically employed by marginalized groups seeking redress. Global solidarity networks, bridging borders through shared causes in recent decades. International cooperation amongst activists addressing common problems has grown substantially thanks largely to advancements in telecommunications enabling cross-border coordination efforts previously unimaginable before Internet age arrived upon us. Organizations like Amnesty International exemplify this trend well. They unite volunteers globally under one banner promoting human rights irrespective of geographical boundaries separating them physically yet connecting emotionally through shared values rooted deep inside each individual member regardless nationality, origin, culture, etc. Digital platforms as new arenas for activism. Platforms such as Twitter/X have revolutionized traditional modes of protest, offering new ways people express support/anger regarding current affairs instantly reaching millions. Simultaneously, unlike previous eras requiring physical presence at designated locations limited by logistical constraints preventing wider-scale participation unless significant investment made ahead time. However, alongside benefits come risks including exposure, cyberbullying, misinformation spread rapidly online threatening credibility, integrity, entire movement depending upon how accurately messages conveyed publicly versus privately behind closed doors, discussions happening amongst organizers strategizing next steps, carefully avoiding pitfalls encountered earlier generations faced when navigating similar terrain lacking modern technological advantages available nowadays. Challenges faced by modern-day activists navigating complex political landscapes. Navigating contemporary political environments presents unique difficulties facing today's activists attempting drive meaningful reforms amidst polarized societies increasingly divided along ideological lines, making consensus hard to achieve, particularly concerning highly contentious topics likely provoke strong emotional responses leading potentially volatile situations erupting unexpectedly without warning. Furthermore, governmental bodies often employ sophisticated strategies aimed suppressing dissent, whether through legislation restricting freedom, assembly, speech, right, peaceful protest, thereby creating artificial barriers hindering progress, and less cleverly circumvented using alternative tactics, creative approaches, ensuring message still gets heard despite obstacles placed, deliberately obstructive intentions. Evaluating impact. Measuring success within dynamic social contexts, assessing effectiveness of any given social movement, requires nuanced approach considering multifaceted nature reality wherein single metric rarely sufficient capture full extent achievements realized, nor shortcomings remaining unaddressed warranting further action taking corrective measures implemented appropriately timed fashion. Maximizing chances future victories secured. Quantifiable indicators such number participants involve duration campaigns ongoing presence social media metrics like shares comments represent useful data points though ultimately true measure lies qualitative shifts occurring society level. Attitudinal changes policy implementations legislative amendments reflecting deeper understanding gained regarding issues initially raised sparking initial wave activity. Fostering lasting change. Strategies for sustainable social transformation to ensure longevity impact generated through successful social movements lasting legacy needs built intentionally incorporating principles designed promote resilience adaptability growth over time, allowing continued relevance face evolving challenges emerging regularly throughout history cycles repeating predictably following patterns observable closely studied thoroughly analyzed meticulously planned accordingly. One crucial aspect involves cultivating inclusive spaces welcoming diverse perspectives encouraging open dialogue facilitating mutual respect fostering environment conducive collaboration innovation solutions arising naturally from convergence varied backgrounds expertise contributing uniquely valuable insights enhancing overall quality output produced collectively surpassing what possible isolated efforts separately executed independently apart group setting. Conclusion. Social movements stand as testaments to humanity's capacity for unity and determination in pursuit of justice, equity, and progress. They remind us that no matter how entrenched oppressive structures may seem, collective willpower can dismantle them brick by brick, stone by stone. As we move forward, let us remember that every voice matters, every act of courage inspires, and every step taken together brings us closer to a world where dignity, opportunity, and peace are universal truths, not distant dreams waiting to be fulfilled.